Hi guys. I have been wanting to do this for a little bit. I think y'all remember some of the little things that we did when we were working on our little journal in my Sunday live streams, where I've done little bits of stitching on things. Now, I've been wanting to create some little elements or little bits that were hand stitched like that. I mean, these could be made up ahead of time, and I want to do a bunch of those so that I have them. See, this is just something real simple that I could use when I wanted to grab up and make a cluster or something like that. See, this is another piece right here. They're just little bits, just little elements, just little bits. Oh, and I guess I forgot. Well, there's some right there I can use. I was going to tell you that you just want to gather up your things. This is a good, maybe you're not feeling like creating a whole page or making a bunch of clusters or anything like that, but you want to sit and do something. You're relaxing. Maybe you're watching a YouTube video, and if you can have something that kind of, sometimes it helps to do some little sort of almost menial task. Look at, here's some little paper bits right there on my table that we can do something with. I have, okay, so I have pieces of book paper, just the margins. I have book pages, that just pieces. I have whole book pages. In case we want something like that. I have scrap paper out of my scrap bin. I have bits out of my fabric bin because, you know, we might want some fabric bits. That fabric bit might be a better cluster. You just don't know what you want. So the idea is to take my wonderful leftover embroidery thread and just take some of this little scrap bits and do some little pieces with it. Just stitch on it. Just, oh look, here's a leftover piece of burlap ribbon that I had. So I might stitch on that too. And just create a little pile of what I want to call hand stitched bits. I'm going to use embroidery thread, but you could use sewing thread if you wanted to. I might double it up 3 or 4 times. You could use yarn. It's sort of an unlimited possibilities kind of thing. Oh, look, there's a really short piece of wax linen. Let's use that. That's a longer piece. I like to keep those longer pieces in there for when I want to tie something up. So I'm going to use a needle that has a pretty good size eye. But you could use anything that you have to create some little bits. And that's all that I want to do today, is I want to make some pieces that I have that I can then go back through and do something with. Now this piece, we might just do a running stitch. Now, what happens if you don't know what to stitch? Well, all you have to do is kind of look at the internet and ask and maybe get some ideas for hand stitched embroidery stitches. Embroidery stitches would be perfect for this. If you wanted to get real involved with it, I'm not going to, because I'm just going to make, you know, whatever happens, the piece of paper tells me to stitch on it. And if it comes out, I'm just going to leave it like that. That's a finished bit, is what I want to call them. I'm just going to call them bits for now. I've got some great threads in here that have been in here so long that who knows. And they might not be perfect for everything that we are doing, but I think they will be a jumping off spot, something that can maybe create some kind of idea for you. Okay, so this one, let's see here. I think I'll come up from the back. Come on. This is a little piece of scrap coffee dyed paper. Now, I didn't tie a knot. I'm not going to worry about it. That might be better if I brought you in a little closer. Now I'll try to keep my hands in frame. Sorry if I don't. Now, I did not pick up a sharp needle, and I'm sorry I didn't. I'm going to get a different needle out next time, because I think a sharp needle on this paper would work a whole lot better. I'm having trouble actually poking that through the paper. So, scissors. Okay, and there's another little bit to use. Let's see here. Like I said, these were just scraps out of my scrap bin. And now we have another one. It's just, I'm going to, however, get a sharp needle. That needle is just not working with the paper very well, so let's see if we can, oh, must have left the needles out. There they are. Let's see what we got here. How about we use some of this blue thread? And there again, I'm using up scrap thread. This is from leftover embroidery projects. Honestly, it's leftover stuff that my dad did projects with. So, okay, and I've got this fun piece of scrap paper right here. Let's tie a knot in that one. I want it to stay in there. I am not trying to do anything fancy here. I am just putting some threads on here. Whatever looks good to me. It's not And if this little bit doesn't get used for something down the road, it's not a big deal. It will eventually find its way into a tag or a cluster or a page in a little art journal. So I'm just going to sit quietly here and work on a few things. I'm going to work on some fabric pieces. I'm going to work on some paper pieces. We'll just see what I have and try to do something with them and just create a little pile of bits. I kind of like that piece, but and I don't really intend to make clusters as I go, but that piece is just sort of saying, stitch me to something. Okay, so I'm going to just find some thread and stitch that. So I'll be back in just a little bit after I have stitched up a few. Okay, guys, I think that's enough to explain what I'm trying to do. Um, I'm the whole point is to have some little elements. Elements is what I want to call them. These are bitty elements, itty bitty elements. I could use this as an element to create a collage of some sort. You know, I could put things with it. I could create a cluster. I could create a tab on a page with that one. Okay, I may be in a little too close. This, I made some long ones, and I'm going to make some more long ones because I think they would be really cute just on the side of a page. Say we have a little page in our journal. Well, that's just, and it would make a cute edge of a page. They could be stitched on, they could be glued on, whatever that you wanted to do with them. This is a little bit more of an involved element, which would be fun with something like that, peeking through it. So these are just little elements to be added to our pages. Now, like I said, I have scrap box bins pieces from paper. I have a scrap bin of laces and trims that can be used. I have this little scrap bin of all these bits of that doesn't show very well, but bits of fabric. They're just little itty bitty bits of fabric, and they're just single little elements with a little tiny bit of stitching. This just makes me happy. I mean, I can just see that in a page like so. You know, just using it on a page to create some other little thing, or along with, let's see here, let's get out some little bits of paper and we could create a collage of something. Okay. I do like, when I was playing with the fabric, I like the fact that I bunched some of it up to create these little knot things. I think they'll be fun to play with. They might be fun as, if this was the edge of a page, this could be put on as a little tab. So, you know, just odds and ends of little hand stitch. So grab up some scraps, grab some scrap thread, watch a couple of YouTube videos, maybe this one, and create some little hand stitched elements. Now I have some ideas too about making some fun little elements with the sewing machine, and I'm going to try to get that done. We're going to be doing a lot more scrappy stuff in January with Lisa, so keep your eyes on that. Look at here. This is another new little scrap that just happened on my table today. So what can I do with that? I can maybe, what can I do with that? Here's a little tiny itty bitty piece of paper. Here is this. I've got pink thread in there, and for some reason that doesn't call for pink thread, so I'm going to have to take the time to change my thread so that you can see my idea. And I have this nice little tiny short piece of red thread, if we can get it into the needle. It does not want to go in the needle, so, oh dear. If I can't get it in the needle real fast, we'll get out another one. There we go. Okay. let's just stitch this in. Fold that. I'm going to tie this around it with a little knot, and I have another little element. Now that doesn't mean I won't put any glue on the backs of these to add them to my pages or anything like that. It just means this is just a little bitty thing to add to pages. Now how about that? Just another little tiny element. Okay guys, let me read you a quote from my 1001 Ways to Creativity book and go figure out what the next chore is. We do not write as we want, but as we can. W. Somerset Monaghan. Okay guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.